Alright, so we're going to put on this S-Flo intake that I just got from Paul. It's a carbon fiber. It's basically going to go right where that one is, right there. So it's going to replace that. Actually, it's going to go like that down in there. Comes with a little carbon fiber inlet tube as well. It's going to replace that piece right there. And of course comes with a 50,000 mile filter on it. Just clean it up every now and then. It'll last you a lifetime. So that's the plan. The instructions are online. When you get the equipment, you get this little card with a QR code on it. And you just scan the QR code and the latest and greatest manual comes up on your, in this case, iPhone. And the first step that it says is to remove the plastic inlet duct. This is the inlet duct right here. That's what we're going to take off. It's held on with 2 screws right there. Right there. Look like the typical 10 millimeter screws. That's so many of these screws tend to be. And right now what I have in there is I have a Canon panel filter in there, which is nice. A big improvement from the standard filter. Gives you a little bit more better throttle response, and it sounds a little bit better. You can hear some of the turbo spooling up and all that stuff. But it wasn't giving me as much as I liked, so we're going to try this carbon fiber filter. 2 screws. And the reason why I went with the off filter here is because it still uses this intake duct. We're going to put it back on there, and it's still going to be used by the unit. So many of the cold air intakes that are on the market right now are just basically open right here. This is removed, and there's just a filter sitting there, and it's just sucking in all this hot air that's underneath the hood. What makes this unit unique, and what I liked about it, was it's still using the ductwork that is original to the Mini, and it's taking air from the grill here and funneling it in there, so we should get a little bit cooler air. So that was step number 1. Bada bing, bada boom. The next section, the next step says simply to locate and disconnect the MAF sensor, shown in arrow A, using a T20 Torx driver. That's this little guy right here. 2 little Torx screws on there. Let's see if I got that Torx screw handy. Not that one. So let's try this one. Let's take it. And I've heard that these are a little fragile, so we're going to try to be careful and be gentle with it. I think there's a little filament in there that we want to make sure it doesn't get damaged. And I have not done this before, so this is you're learning right along with me. I've watched a couple videos online. There's your MAF sensor. And we're just going to kind of put that off to the side. The equipment comes with a lot of packing material. I'm just going to wrap this guy up real quick. You don't want to kind of wedge it under there. Alright, so there's your MAF sensor. The MAF sensor is out. That's step 2. Step 3 says use a standard screwdriver to loosen the OEM worm clamp, shown airway figure 3. Worm clamp. That's that silver clamp right here. So let's pop that bad boy off there. It says it's a standard screwdriver, really? A straight slot? It is a straight slot. The one screwdriver I didn't grab. So let me grab the straight slot. Alright. Straight slot in hand. Worm clamp. Don't disconnect this worm clamp completely. We're just simply loosening it. And we're going to slide her back. Now, let me see what it says. It's loose. I don't know if they want us to take it off yet. It says loosen the worm clamp. Alright. Use a 10mm socket to remove the bolt, arrow B. Alright, they're talking about this bolt right here. That is our good old 10mm ratchet. And that's really the only thing that's holding this box in is this bolt, that clamp, and I believe there's 2 little pegs down below that kind of fit into little holes, kind of snap in there. That should come right out. There's your 10mm screw. Really? It wants me to take that out now? Well, what kind of wire should do it? Hold on. Yeah. Alright. It wants me to, but I'm going to be very careful here because there are some screws and nuts, or some, yeah. I've got a Dynan Elite in here, and what I've done is I've wire nutted, or not wire nutted, zip tied to this little piece right here. So I'm just going to pull that off. It's just a little tab right here. This rubber piece is on it. Anything else attached? Doesn't appear to be. There it goes. And there's your air box. These are the 2 little tabs down below that are kind of going in these 2 little holes right here. So there it is. Out she comes. So we're here. Alright. So far so good. Step 4. Assemble the all S-Flo carbon tube and heat shield using the supplied 2 M5 8mm bolts at the arrow in figure 4. Tighten using a 3mm Allen wrench. So basically I'm going to connect the tube. This guy is going to connect to this guy. I believe it goes that way because your map sensor is right here. So we want that on that side. So I'm going to use the supplied screws and attach that. Oh, by the way, they give you they give you a blow pop, which is actually kind of cool. A watermelon one in my case. I don't know if they're all like that. I'll have that a little bit later. But they do give you a little bag of screws right here, and then a little off sticker, which is kind of cool. Maybe put that on the back window or something, I don't know. But let's get the right screw here. And what they do is they give you 4 screws, but I don't know which one they want us to use. So, one is, or 2 of them are a little bit fatter than the other ones. it here. Yep, looks to be the rounded head one goes in there, so that's what we're going to use. Interesting, no washers. Thought they might have put a spring washer or something on here to make sure that doesn't loosen up. See if I grab the right. I did not. There it is. I'll just loosely put that on there until I get the next one on here. And sorry about the lighting in here. It is 9 o'clock at night, and my garage has some fluorescence in it, but I got some shelves up there that are blocking the fluorescence. So yeah, this isn't quite the right size. Small one here, that one there. So I shall return to the toolbox. There we go. That's the right one. So I'll give it a little. Oh, there is a rubber seal underneath this, but you probably should have it tight enough that it compresses that seal a little bit. Oh, and hey, look what's inside. Interesting. Glad I saw that. Wow. Okay, so we got 2 extra screws in there. I wonder if those are extras, or they just didn't know they were in there. We'll see. So that is the inlet tube attached to the carbon fiber shield. All right, that's step 4. Step 5. Reading along there. Step 5, install the all S-Flo air filter onto the carbon fiber tube and tighten the worm clamp with an 8mm socket. Orient the filter and worm clamp as shown in the arrow. Okay, I think I gotcha. So the worm clamp is actually on the filter. It's right here. So I was going, I didn't have a worm clamp, but it comes with a worm clamp. And this is already pre-oiled. There's a little bit of oil on it. So I don't need to do anything there. So yeah, you got a little flange right here. Now, interesting. How am I going to get? How am I going to get a ratchet on that thing? Okay, or how am I going to get a screwdriver on that thing? That's what I want to know. Go this way? I guess I could spin it around. Now, let me look at my picture. Picture shows it like that. And interesting, it shows the, if you look at the picture, it shows the bottom piece off of that. I don't think I should take it off of that. This piece right here, it's showing it off. So if it is like that, that looks proper to me. I'm just trying to judge it here. All right. Now, the interesting thing is, how am I supposed to tighten that on there? What in the world? All right, so there's your screw. There's your screw right there. So yeah, I guess I'll get a ratchet maybe on it. I'm certainly not going to get a straight slot on that. So let me go get a ratchet for that. Sorry to keep going back and forth, guys. Thought I had everything here. All right, so we got a ratchet. We got a socket. Let's tighten this bad boy up. Slow going, like one click at a time, not much room there, but it's getting snug. Alright, I think we're good. I think we're snug. And I'm going to leave that on there, right here. Even though the picture on the phone shows it off, I don't think we want that off. Because that'll be basically unfiltered air going straight in here. And I don't think we want that. So, I'm going to leave that on there. If anybody has any comments on that, let me know. But I think that is what we're going to do. Alright, so that clamp is on. That's step number 5. Step 6. Install the MAF sensor. Wait, do we not put this thing in? Orient the filter and water clamp is shown there. Okay. It says, yeah, you put it on before you put it in there. Install the MAF sensor using the supplied M4 12mm socket head screws shown in figure 6. Tighten with a Allen wrench. Okay. So basically you're just putting that MAF sensor that we took off right back in there. MAF sensor it is. Now these two screws, are they, see, M4 12 millimeter. The previous screws they talked about were M5 8 millimeters. So these must be what these two screws are for. Grab my little Allen wrench here. All right, MAF sensor installed. Get a little tighter shot of them. It's nice billet aluminum right there you're screwing into, so it's nice and snug. All right. That was step, that was step 6. They want you to make sure it creates an airtight seal around that. There is a little rubber gasket underneath that. Make sure you don't lose it. It's in there. Step 7, reinstall the original air inlet duct using the OEM 10 millimeter bolts at arrows figure 7. So they want you to put the inlet duct that we took off right here. They want that on there before we mount this guy back in there. Alright, so we'll drop this guy in here. Gotta be careful because I got a wire right here. The MAF sensor's hooked to. Again, just 2 bolts here. 10 millimeter. On there. Alright, reinstall original air intake, air inlet duct. Got it. Install, step 8. Step 8, install the S-Flo carbon intake assembly by inserting the factory intake tube at the back of the engine bay. At arrow A, figure 8. Line up the carbon fiber heat shield mounts with the OEM rubber mounts and gently push down until the assembly settles into position. Use a 10 millimeter socket to install the bolt on the right side. Plug the factory harness back into the MAF sensor and tighten the OEM worm clamp. Alrighty, I think I got it. So we got worm clamp, bolt, plug. Got it. Let's do it. So we've got this, worm clamp right here. Spin this around. I'll pull it up nice and snug there. Tighten this worm clamp up. Now, keep in mind, this is probably one of the first Countrymen to have this put on it. Certainly one of the first 2019 Countrymen S to have this on. Because if you go to the ALL website, it does not say this is authorized to fit this. But I looked at it and said, doggone it, it looks like everything is there. So, looks like that lines up. That lines up. Then, yeah, so there's, that's it. It's in there. Just checking, I can't quite see that bottom one very well, but it sure looks like it's in there. I need my Dynan Elite module there. Yep, it looks good. And then this hole lines up. This is what I was concerned about. I wasn't sure if this hole was going to line up, but looks like the F56 hole and the F60 hole is spot on. Trying to see if this really, does this attach here at all, or is it just hanging in the breeze? Looks like it's just hanging in the breeze, but let's tighten it up, see how it feels. That's solid in there. It ain't going anywhere. This is what concerns me here. This is not real sturdy. But it doesn't say anything about it being attached to it or snapping in. It's just kind of hanging out there. So we'll leave it. I may end up at least maybe wedging something underneath here to kind of keep it tight. I hate to have to maybe put a couple screws through this thing to mount it. And then we've lost our cable mount here. The original box came all the way out here, and the mount was right there. So that's gone. Not a big deal. This is just some wires. This is the extra wires for my little Dynan module. So I may need to wire tie this up somewhere else. I don't want to wire tie it to any kind of hose. I'd rather wire tie it to something structural. Maybe something to look at. Another day. Alright, that's on there. And I think that's pretty much it. And that took me a total of, what, 30 minutes? Let's go back to my instructions here. Yep, last step. Enjoy! And then the care is just inspect filter every 25,000 miles. Clean every 50,000. Or sooner in dusty conditions. Well, there you go. That's the install of an S-Flo into a mini 2019 Countryman S. Pretty simple, straightforward.
Let's hear how it sounds. What do you say?
All right, let's turn around. So it definitely makes a little bit more racket, a little bit more noise. I like it so far. I'm going to take it out on the road, take it for a spin, see how it does. Thanks for watching this, guys. Hopefully it helps out. With all you Countryman people out there trying to do some mods for your car.